Lauren Ashley's life was cut short by someone she trusted. Late one night, Malcolm Ashley got a terrible phone call. His daughter's car had been found in a parking lot near the city beach. He rushed to the scene, hoping he could still save her if she was in trouble. With a flashlight in hand, he walked along the beach, looking through the dark water for any sign of her. But she was nowhere to be found. At school, many people looked up to the couple. Nathaniel Fudja was tall and serious, a good athlete. Lauren Ashley was small but full of energy. They had known each other for years, but only started dating in their last year of high school. What started as first love, with kisses and shared dreams, lasted for 3 years. What happened next? What could have driven them apart? And why was the truth so hard for people to accept? Let's look at today's case. Lauren was born on April 1, 1993 in Boston, Massachusetts to Mary and Malcolm Esty. Both her parents were teachers and she was the center of their world. From an early age, they taught her to be honest and good, hoping she would grow into a kind and good person. In 2006, Mary and Malcolm got divorced but shared custody of Lauren. Even after they split up, they both loved and supported their daughter. It's hard to believe she was only 18. Her life was already full of energy, purpose, and success. Lauren was always busy with something. She sang in a music group, played tennis and soccer, sang in the church choir, played in the youth orchestra, worked as a camp counselor, and even got the main role in Annie at the local theater. Nicole's schedule was always packed. She seemed to have no free time because she was always doing something. Though she was only 4 feet 11 inches tall, her bright personality made her unforgettable. She loved performing most of all. With her strong, beautiful voice, she sang at almost every school and community event. Getting the lead singer spot in her high school's singing group made her very happy. Besides music, Lauren spent time organizing events and helping with charity work. Helping others, whether family, friends, or strangers, was what mattered most to her. Her classmates loved her honesty, openness, and real spirit. People knew they could go to Lauren when they had problems. And when asked for help, she gave it her all. When she was just 12 years old, she went to New Orleans to help people hurt by Hurricane Katrina. She went back 2 more times with friends to help flood victims, showing that even as a young person, she always put others' needs before her own. These kind acts showed what kind of person she was. Her warmth and inner light touched everyone she met, parents, friends, teachers, and even strangers. At Wayland High School, Lauren was known not just for her good grades, but also for being involved in school life. She played sports, performed in concerts, entered competitions, and did community service, leaving a good impression wherever she went. During high school, Lauren really came into her own, and some friends even thought she was a trendsetter. Her energy and bright personality made many people want to be like her. Around this time, she started dating Nathaniel Fudja, her first serious boyfriend. Nathan, who also went to Wayland High School, had known Lauren since they were kids. He was the star player on the school's football team, known for being fast, tall, and good at sports. Nathan was one of the most popular students with girls cheering for him at every game. But he only loved the happy, lively Lauren Ashley. He was the only son of Beth and Tom Fudja. Tom was a talented and well-known guitar player who also taught at Boston's Berklee College of Music. His creative work and musical success made him stand out in the community. In 2010, Lauren even interviewed Tom Fudja for a school project, which was later put on YouTube. Because of her relationship with Nathaniel, she became welcome in Beth and Tom's home, visiting often. Their parents also got to know each other and kept in touch. For the first 2 years, things between Nathan and Lauren went well. They spent time together playing sports, hanging out, and enjoying their teenage years. Many people thought they were perfect for each other. But over time, cracks started to show. Arguments began, and their once steady relationship became rocky. They fell into a pattern of fighting, breaking up, and getting back together, only to do it all again. One day they could be deeply in love, and the next day angry at everything the other did. Relationships like this aren't rare, even among adults. Nathaniel often got a lot of attention from other girls. But he was still controlling and jealous of Lauren. Sometimes, he felt she cared more about others than about him. In her senior year, Lauren started thinking seriously about her future, where she wanted to go in life, and which college she would attend. During this time, she realized Nathan no longer fit into the life she wanted. She had grown tired of the constant stress their relationship caused and started thinking about ending it for good. Senior year is often a turning point, a final step toward being an adult. At 18, the world feels wide open, full of chances to do great things, build a career, meet new people, and have exciting experiences. For Lauren, the next big step was getting into college, and she was excited to take it. Lauren applied to Elon University in North Carolina, while Nathaniel chose Trinity College in Connecticut, where he had been invited to play football, a dream he'd had since childhood. Lauren's friends knew about the problems in her relationship and wanted to help. Together, they made a list of reasons she should break up with Nathan: his quick temper, extreme jealousy, mean behavior, and sometimes being rude to his own mother. After thinking it all over, Lauren decided to end their high school romance. On her birthday in April 2011, she broke up with Nathan, a day she thought was one of the best in her life. The timing made sense. With both of them going to different colleges in the fall, it was the right time to move on and live separate lives. But for Nathaniel, the breakup felt totally different. He saw it not as a fresh start, but as a terrible loss. The college offer Nathaniel had once wanted no longer mattered to him. All he could think about was his relationship with Lauren Ashley. Once an active and motivated young man, always training and staying busy, he slowly pulled back from everything. He spent most of his days on the couch, looking sad and distant. He stopped hanging out with people, stayed away from his friends completely, and gave up his usual activities. During this time, he started drinking heavily and smoking marijuana every day. Even though Lauren had ended their relationship months before, she still worried about him. She didn't want to see someone she had once been so close to in pain. Several times, she asked her friends if she should reach out and try to help him. Every time, they told her not to, warning her not to give him any reason to think their relationship might start again. In the summer of 2011, after finishing high school, Lauren was excited to enjoy her last months at home with family and friends. To celebrate the start of this new time, her friends planned a big party. Under a large tent, about 150 students and recent graduates gathered. Lauren's ex-boyfriend, Nathan, was among them, dancing, laughing, and enjoying the night. While Lauren was talking with her friends, Nathan, already very drunk, came up to her trying to get back together. Lauren, however, told him firmly to leave her alone. In her mind, everything had already been talked about, and there was no reason to go over the breakup again. They had talked it through many times, and she was ready to move forward. Besides, she knew that when he was drunk, Nathan wouldn't listen to anything she said. But Nathan couldn't stand the thought of her being with someone else, refusing to accept that she had rejected him. He kept bothering and pressuring her. At one point, Lauren started crying, telling a friend that Nathan just wouldn't leave her alone. He followed her around all night, determined to stop her from dancing with anyone else. With each minute that passed, his anger grew stronger, made worse by alcohol. When Lauren once again refused to talk to him, Nathan angrily went up and hit one of the tent poles with all his strength, making the whole structure fall down. The tent was quickly put back up. But by then, the mood had changed. Completely. Now, it wasn't just Lauren. Everyone at the party was telling Nathan to leave. The celebration was ruined. Later that night, Lauren told her mother about Nathan's behavior, explaining how he refused to let her go. He was angry that she had ended their relationship, mad that she wouldn't talk to him, and bitter that she seemed happy without him. For a while, things seemed to calm down. Lauren decided to take a job at a clothing store in the mall to make some money before starting college. On July 3, 2011, she came to work at 10 a.m. Security cameras recorded her entering the mall at 9:45 a.m. and going up the escalator. At 6:45 p.m., her shift ended and she was seen leaving the building while talking on the phone. Sadly, this would be the last time anyone saw her alive. She had planned to meet friends for a walk after work, but she never showed up. Her friends right away became worried. This wasn't like Lauren. If something came up and she couldn't make it, she would always find a way to let them know. Her father, Malcolm, was also worried. He knew she had planned to go home after work, change clothes, and then meet her friends, But she never made it home, breaking from what should have been her normal routine. Her father felt right away that something was wrong and didn't wait. He called the police immediately to report her missing. News of Lauren Ashley going missing spread quickly through the town, making friends and people who knew her very worried. No one had seen her since she left the mall. In Lauren's case, police began searching right away. Usually, police wait a certain amount of time before starting a missing person search. But here, everything moved quickly. Friends and family didn't just wait for her to come back. They actively looked for help. As soon as Malcolm called the police, the search began. That same night, police found Lauren's red Jeep parked at One Town Beach with its windows down. It was an important discovery. Inside were her bag and laptop, but Lauren herself was nowhere to be found. There were no clues about where Lauren went after leaving her car at the city beach with its windows rolled down. The moment Malcolm heard about the discovery, he rushed there, running straight from the car to the water as if he still had a chance to save her. With a flashlight in hand, he searched the shoreline, but she was nowhere to be found. Lauren's friends, scared after hearing about the red Jeep, spent the night at the beach, hoping she would appear. They sat by the water doing nothing but waiting and wondering where she could have gone. At that moment, none of them even thought that she might have been hurt. Police started questioning Lauren's close friends and family, trying to find out if anyone might want to hurt her or take her against her will. At first, no one could think of a single person. However, when officers asked more questions, they learned she had recently broken up with her boyfriend. Even so, all of Lauren's friends said Nathan couldn't hurt her. He could be moody and upset about the breakup, but they didn't see him as dangerous. The police knew that jealousy and a recent breakup could often be strong reasons for someone to do something harmful. They already knew about Nathaniel Fudja. And that same evening, as part of their questions, they went to his home. There, Nathan and his mother, Beth, talked with the officers. He said he had been home the whole time, which gave him an alibi, though not a very strong one. Nathan told them that he had actually seen Lauren that day. According to him, she stopped by for about 5 minutes but never got out of her car. They had a short, awkward conversation after which she left, and he said he hadn't seen her since. On the surface, his story seemed believable. The officers knew, however, that the breakup had deeply affected him. He had pulled back, become depressed, and stopped going out at all. Beth, very worried about her son, took Nathan to see a therapist, but it didn't really help. Desperate to help him deal with the breakup, she even went to the mall where Lauren worked without telling Nathan, hoping to find some way to reach out. She also asked her ex-boyfriend to talk with Nathan, thinking it might help him work through his feelings and start to heal. The next morning, just before sunrise, a person riding a bike along a road near the highway made a terrible discovery. Passing a swampy area, she noticed something floating in the dark water. Curious and alarmed, she stopped and moved closer, only to see it was the body of a young woman. It was Lauren Ashley, found just 5 miles from town. The night before, her friends had gathered on the beach near her abandoned red Jeep. Still trying to figure out where she could have gone. They had no answers, only fear. The students could do nothing but sit there, not sure what to do, what to think, or even how to feel. It was almost impossible to believe that the same girl they had laughed and shared moments with just the day before could now be gone. Her body was found about 30 feet from the road, floating in the water. Once it was brought to shore, the cause of death became clear right away. When a state police detective pulled back her shirt collar, he found a deep, deadly wound to her neck. 18-year-old Lauren Ashley had suffered a severe throat slash and an elastic cord was tangled in her hair. Her body was quickly sent to the medical examiner's office. All the while, Malcolm Ashley held on to a desperate hope that it wouldn't be his daughter. But that hope was crushed when he had to do the heartbreaking task of identifying the body of his only child, something no parent should ever have to do. Lauren had just turned 18. She was full of life, musically gifted, and standing at the start of a promising future. Malcolm had to show proper identification, and the moment he saw her, he knew it was Lauren. The pain was unbearable. Yet he still had to tell Lauren's mother, his ex-wife. The terrible news quickly spread throughout the town. Friends who once saw Lauren and Nathan as a happy couple spoke with disbelief, saying that Nathan could never have done something like this to the woman he loved. Many found it hard to believe the situation was real. But the police thought otherwise. After talking with Nathan's family, they learned how deeply the breakup had affected him. He was no longer the happy football player admired by so many. Heartbroken, Nathan had become bitter and withdrawn. The sport he once dreamed of playing since childhood, American football, no longer interested him. Beth told police that she had gone to Lauren hoping to talk to her son and cheer him up by being a friend. It's possible Beth didn't know all the details of her son's relationship with his girlfriend, which might explain what she did. She likely had no idea how that meeting would end. Lauren, however, had been uneasy about her ex-boyfriend for some time, having noticed changes in how he acted. Out of kindness, she decided to meet with Nathan to see if she could help him get past his sadness. She had no plan to start their relationship again, but felt she should be there for him during a hard time. Security cameras at the mall caught Lauren talking on her phone as she left work. Her phone records showed she was talking to Nathan. She planned to stop by his place for just 5 minutes before going home to change clothes and then meet her friends. She hadn't told anyone about her plans that day. Nathan's parents weren't home, and when she got to his house, she sent him a one-word text. Here, that was her way of letting him know she was nearby. It ended up being the last message Lauren ever sent, delivered on July 3rd at 7:05 p.m. The last place she was seen alive was Nathan's house, which gave police their first clear lead. On July 4th, officers came back to talk with Nathan, but he was gone, and his parents said they had no idea where he was. Still, the investigation kept going. Police needed solid evidence to support their suspicion that Nathan was involved in Lauren's disappearance. They quickly got a warrant to search his home, starting in the garage. What they found right away suggested something horrible had happened. Along with the cord that had been around Lauren's neck, officers found several traces of blood on the garage floor, on the door handle, in the kitchen sink, and in the bathroom sink. It looked like someone had tried to clean the surfaces. In the basement, investigators found a black sports bag with a pair of sneakers completely covered in mud. In the attic, which could be reached by a ladder from Nathan's bedroom, they found another pair of shoes along with blood-stained boots and clothing. At first look, the mud on the sneakers seemed the same as the kind found near the swamp where Lauren's body was discovered. This needed immediate lab testing. The results left no doubt. Nathan's clothes and boots had Lauren's blood, and the mud was indeed from that same swampy area. After these findings, Nathan Fujah was officially put on the wanted list. He was found at his cousin's home in a nearby town just a few hours later. Shortly after midnight on July 4, 2011, the 18-year-old football player was arrested and charged with the murder of his ex-girlfriend. When police arrested Nathan Fujah at his aunt's house without warning, he stayed silent and didn't respond during questioning. This distant behavior continued for several months right up until his trial started. Whether it was because he was afraid of saying too much or simply couldn't explain what he had done, Nathan gave no insight. On August 23, 2011, Nathan appeared in court for a preliminary hearing. When asked for his plea, he spoke so softly it was barely heard, saying he was not guilty. The prosecutor quickly suspected that his defense team was preparing a strategy based on insanity. Nathan faced charges of first-degree murder as well as assault and battery with a dangerous weapon. During the hearing, more details came out about the night Lauren Ashley was killed. It was revealed that she had other injuries given to her before her death. The night before the crime, Nathan had called his cousin and asked her to hang out. When she said no, saying she had other plans, Nathan became angry and hung up. The next day, after learning of Lauren's death, the cousin called Nathan to see if he knew what had happened to his ex-girlfriend. His response was scary. He said the murder weapon would never be found. Nathan also told his cousin that he had driven Lauren's red Jeep to the City Beach parking lot, saying that he needed a break and wanted to spend time with her. By the end of the hearing, the prosecutor asked that Nathan be held without bail, and the court agreed. About a month before the trial, another hearing on pretrial motions happened, showing disturbing and important new information about the suspect. In 2009, Lauren and Nathan were in one of their on-again, off-again times. Lauren kept living her life and one night went to a dance with friends. Among the people there was a young man who had shown interest in her before. After her recent breakup with Nathan, Lauren decided to give a new relationship a try. The two danced together and even shared a kiss. Suddenly, Nathan appeared, forcefully pushing the young man and threatening to slit his throat if he ever came near Lauren again. Over time, what happened at the dance was forgotten. Lauren's friends and family never saw any clear signs of abuse in the relationship. However, they knew Nathan could be controlling and jealous, with his temper getting worse when he drank. This fight, which happened 2 years before the crime, showed how angry and jealous Nathan got toward anyone who came near Lauren. When investigators found the wounds on Lauren's body, her boyfriend's earlier words took on a darker meaning, hinting that Nathan might have been the killer. It also became clear during the hearing that Nathan planned to use an insanity defense. While this wouldn't clear him of the charges, it could greatly reduce his punishment. By the time Nathan's trial began on February 13, 2013, 18 months had passed since Lauren Ashley's death. From the start, the defense said Nathan was legally insane, sticking to this story throughout the 3-week trial. Early in his statement, Nathan's lawyer openly admitted that Nathan had killed Lauren, but argued that the real questions were how and why. The defense said Nathan hadn't stalked Lauren after her high school graduation. He hadn't driven by her home, called her, or sent her texts. According to them, he had withdrawn completely, avoiding people and places altogether. Friends of the girls who were there confirmed that Nathan had withdrawn from everyone, stopped going to training sessions, and avoided conversations. His friends and former teachers became worried because his behavior had changed drastically within just 2 months. In the end, the lawyer said that Nathan was suffering from a severe mental illness, showing that something was seriously wrong with him. Beth, his mother, convinced him to visit a psychiatrist who diagnosed him with severe clinical depression. This wasn't just heartbreak over a breakup. It was a real mental disorder. According to the defense, the psychiatrist recommended medication and therapy, but Nathan refused both. He may have been struggling with mental health issues brought on by his breakup with Lauren Ashley and the repeated head injuries he got while playing high school football. The end of their relationship could have triggered an episode. Lauren feared she might somehow be responsible for her ex-boyfriend's dangerous condition and worried he might seriously hurt himself. Out of concern for Nathan, Lauren went to the Fuja home on the evening of July 3, 2011. During that time, Nathan had a brief manic episode, leaving him unable to fully understand or control his actions. They went into the garage to talk, but then Nathan suddenly grabbed an elastic cord, wrapped it around Lauren's neck, and began choking her. He had no real awareness of what he was doing. His body was acting, but his mind was disconnected from reality. He felt no emotion toward the act itself. Nathan was still in a disturbed state of mind when he repeatedly slashed Lauren's throat. According to the defense team, his actions were the result of insanity, and their whole case rested on that claim. When it was the prosecution's turn, they argued the exact opposite, that Nathan Fuja had intentionally murdered his ex-girlfriend, Lauren Ashley, because he couldn't deal with the breakup. The prosecution said that this wasn't a crime of sudden rage, but a planned act of revenge. On the day of the murder, Nathan tried to reach Lauren at her workplace, calling her multiple times. In fact, he had already called her cell phone 3 times before that. One of those calls was recorded as she was leaving the shopping center after work. The prosecutor said that Nathan forced Lauren into coming to his house, fully knowing that his parents would not be home. He then took her into his garage where the attack happened. The autopsy showed that Lauren had more injuries than just strangulation and a cut to her throat. There were also clear defensive wounds, showing she had fought back. After killing her, Nathan took off his blood-stained boots, switched to tennis shoes, and walked over 4 miles to the town beach parking lot where he left his red Jeep. Investigators later found the car keys after he had thrown them into a storm drain. Nathan then walked home, put Lauren in his vehicle, and drove to a wetland. There, he walked 33 feet through thick muck, seemingly thinking she would sink to the bottom. But he was wrong. Nathan showed no regret for his actions. That night, he was seen coming home completely naked, driving with the windows down and music blasting. Afterward, the young man cleaned up the crime scene and hid the evidence. He hid his wet, blood-stained shoes and clothing, cleaned the blood from the garage, and quietly waited for his parents to come home. Prosecutors argued that this was not a sudden bout of insanity, as the defense claimed, but rather a deliberate and planned attack. A forensic doctor called as a defense witness testified that based on professional research, Nathan was unable to understand that his actions were wrong. According to the doctor, this inability was due to severe depression, repeated head injuries from football, and daily drug and alcohol use. Since there had been no history of abuse between Lauren and Nathan, and the young man had never reported anything to the police, the defense emphasized that this was a one-time lapse and that Nathan could not have committed the crime while mentally sound. These arguments directly opposed the prosecution's story. A forensic doctor was also called in to evaluate the defendant's mental state. This doctor testified that Nathan was fully sane when he killed Lauren. The amount of planning and effort he put into the crime showed that his actions were deliberate and that he understood the consequences. The hearing was emotionally difficult, and by the trial's end, Lauren Ashley's mother sat in silent grief. The state medical examiner told the court that Lauren likely stayed alive for several minutes, bleeding out after Nathan Fudja strangled her with a cord and then slit her throat. At 20 years old, Nathan hunched forward and cried, appearing to only then understand the seriousness of what he had done once he realized he would face punishment for taking a life. Nathan's parents were devastated and deeply shaken that their son was capable of doing such a thing. They had always shown great care and love for their son, and they cared for his girlfriend, Lauren, as if she were their own daughter. This made them even more worried for the Ashley family who had lost their only child because of Nathan. Both families had once shared a close, warm relationship, but after the tragedy, they were left to face the devastating aftermath. The parents on both sides were deeply heartbroken. On March 7, 2013, Nathan was found guilty on all charges. The jury thought about it for a full day before reaching their decision, and justice was finally served for the Ashley family and the prosecution. Yet, what comfort could it bring when their only child was gone forever? As the sentence was read, Malcolm, Lauren's father, crossed the hall and hugged Nathan's parents. He understood that both families had lost something precious beyond measure. His gesture showed his strength of character. Nathan Fudja was sentenced to life in prison. In Massachusetts, anyone convicted of first-degree murder is given a life sentence without the possibility of parole. Lauren's parents believed her death could have been prevented. After losing her, they dedicated their lives to educating teens about the dangers of relationship and breakup violence. Malcolm and Mary went on to establish the Lauren Ashley Memorial Foundation, a nonprofit that promotes art, community involvement, and healthy teen relationships, causes that were close to Lauren's heart. In January 2024, the Massachusetts Supreme Court overturned a law that required anyone under 20 at the time of their crime to serve life without parole. Lauren's parents now fear that this change could allow Nathan Fudja to be released. They struggle with the thought, believing that the man who killed their 18-year-old daughter should remain behind bars for life. If you found this case fascinating, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. We post crime case videos every night. Until next time, stay sharp, stay vigilant.